Good morning, people of God. I pray all is well with you today. I wanted to hop on here and have a conversation this morning. What is God showing you through your children? Sometimes we have to see ourselves. We have to see ourselves through little people, through the little ones that we birthed, in order for us to really get the picture of where we are in life. You can really see where you are and how you're raising your children and the fruit that you are producing in their lives when you really look at them and look at their behavior, how they handle situations, how they handle consequences, how they handle blessings, how they handle money, how they handle applause, how they handle peer pressure. The way they handle things are the things that you have either taught them or things that have been passed down through the bloodline, concepts and mindsets. And so I'll tell you, my children really stretch me, and I'm so grateful for God working through them. I remember a time when I was wearing contacts, and I love my contacts. I just thought they were so pretty. And they were so fancy. But it wasn't because I thought that my brown eyes were not beautiful. I just liked that there was a little bit more exciting, I felt like. So I remember the Lord was telling me to start toning it down. And my daughter was on Snapchat and she was using these filters. And every time she would use these filters, she would put contacts on her eyes in these filters. And I said, Heaven, why are you doing that? And she said, because they looks pretty. And I said, well, your brown eyes are pretty. And she was like, yeah, but contacts are even more pretty. See how that was the same concept? I never spoke that in words to her, but I was saying it in my actions. So then I went from wearing gray contacts to wearing a light gray contact to a natural dark gray contact. But she still was using this contact filter. And the Lord said, you're teaching her beauty. She is looking at you to see what beauty is. If you say it's beautiful because you're mama and you are the authority right here on earth, she's going to process beauty is contacts. She's going to process beauty is makeup. She's going to process beauty is manufactured. What thing do you see in your children that you're saying, you don't need that, you're beautiful without it? You don't need that behavior. You're a much better person without it. Where are they learning it from? Yesterday we were getting dressed and she was putting her hair in a ponytail, and so she puts on this ponytail, and it looks like her own natural hair, and it's curly, but her own natural hair is curly. And I said, Heaven, you don't need that ponytail. Your hair is natural. It looks pretty. Just wear it like you got it. And she's like, no, it's not long enough. How many times do I hear that in my beauty chair? My hair is not long enough. It's not thick enough. It's not straight enough. It's not curly enough. It's not black enough. It's not gray enough. It's not blonde enough. It's not purple enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. We have become so accustomed to manufacture beauty that we have lost our natural beauty in how we naturally look. So as I was talking to her about this ponytail that she was putting on, she said, I just want my bun like your bun. Boy, I tell you, these kids, the Lord will speak through them. So what she was saying is, well, you don't wear your natural hair, so I just feel like that I need to add on me some additions. I need more, because what you're saying is this, what I have is not enough. And so I need more. We are passing down these these concepts and these ways of thinking through our behavior to our children. Idolatry is what it really is. And we're passing it down from generation to generation. And I have this conversation with my mom so many times because my daughter recently just went natural. I guess the Lord put it in her heart earlier this year. And she's like, I just want my natural hair. And her hair is very thick and very curly. And it is easier for me to manage her hair with a relaxer. Yes, it is. But what am I teaching her through that? And she was just so excited about, no, I want my natural hair. No, I want my natural hair. So I let her do it, and it looks so pretty, and I'm so glad that she did. But every time we go to my mom's house, my mom will say, do you want me to do your hair if you stop and pick up some braiding hair, or you stop and pick up some crochet hair? And I keep telling her, no, let her embrace her natural hair. We are passing down our concepts of beauty. When we're telling a child, no, let me put some hair in your head, what we're saying is your natural hair is not pretty enough. We have to add something to it to make it pretty. Manufactured beauty has taken over our minds and our concepts. Where did we get it from? Where are we learning these things from? Why do we not feel pretty in our own skin? Oh my goodness, y'all, this is so real. This is so heavy. It's a real situation that we are passing down from generation to generation to generation. And a lot of times I admit I do it because it's easier to braid her hair up and leave it for a month or two. It's easier for me. But what I'm teaching her is that it's better to go with the microwave way of life, the faster way of life, instead of saying, Lord, give me the wisdom and the time to work with her hair the way it is. The challenges that they should make us stronger. They should make us better parents, but they should also grow us and stretch us out of our comfort zones. Because this concept we got of beauty, it is driving us crazy when we get older. Yeah, it seems like just some little 99-cent braiding hair and some braids when they're little. But as they grow older, that becomes outdated. In the society we live in, we want more. We want more glam, more glitz, more beauty, more fashion, more. It's never satisfied. So what started out with a 99-cent hair braiding technique when we were little manifest into a $500, $600, $700 a month beauty habit. Let's process this thing. Tearing down these idols hurts because you don't even understand it. Even as I'm speaking now, I'm like, well, God, what does natural hairstyle look like? Lord, I don't even know. Where my own hair? Jesus, Lord, I don't even know. It's so much quicker. It's so much easier to slap my hair up in a bun and slap some hair on. It's so much easier to slap a wig on. But what am I teaching my daughter? I never want to pass that devil down to my daughter. I never want to pass that demon down to my daughter, because when I had to deal with that thing, and I had to unpeel all those layers that the beauty industry had put on me and the layers that I had put on myself, that I was only beautiful with fake hair, that I was only beautiful with tons and tons of makeup on, that I was only beautiful with manufactured beauty. Without those things, what do you feel like? When you stand in the mirror and you say, oh, I just don't even look right without my this, and this. It's because you've become so accustomed to manufactured beauty. In some instances, I'm still asking the Lord, show me, grow me in this area, give me wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, because I never want to be passing this thing down to people. I want to show people how to do it the right way. That is why we have our coming up in November. This is November. And December, we're doing a seminar. We're doing a workshop for girls, for teen girls. It's called Natural Like Me, where we will be teaching them to manage their own natural hair, where we'll be teaching them how to work with their own hair, while we're also giving life lessons. We're going to do an arts and crafts project each time. It'll come with a meal and a snack, and it's one other thing. Oh, they'll get a beauty bag that they get to take home that has all their essentials in it for maintaining their own hair. The workshop is $45, and it's a 4-part workshop, $45 each class. And they will come home with a hairstyle. So let's process through a different filter and teach them to embrace their natural beauty, because it's a bad habit. How much has it cost you? See, the thief, he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But he's shrewd and he's wicked. And if he told you at the age of 12 that you would be spending so much money on beauty, would you have ever picked up that shade of Mood lipstick? Because mine started with Mood lipstick. Would you ever picked it up? If he told you it was going to consume you, you would spend more time in the beauty shop than you would in church, than you would in the presence of God. You never complain hard. Well, some people do. Let me take that back. But people that are serious about their beauty, I had some diehard, listen, come after work. And one lady told me, she said, girl, I used to stay after work. I would come after work to my last beauty shop and I wouldn't get out till 6 a.m. But you complain when church is too long. I'm confused about this. Beauty has become a god. It's idolatry. And it is never satisfied. That's why it consumes more and more time, more and more money. How much money has your makeup collection cost you? How much time do you spend online searching for the perfect hair, wig, clothes, fashion, shoes? How much time do you find yourself searching? Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that the people of God should look nice. I believe that. But he doesn't want it to consume us. He doesn't want us to become a slave to it. At the end of the day, our true beauty comes from the inside. It comes from a quiet, gentle spirit. It comes from our meekness, our mildness. It comes from the Spirit of God. We are great in our beauty. Just even our natural self, we are great in our beauty. Because greater is he who lives in us. The God that lives in us is beautiful. He's patient. He's loving. He's kind. But he's also correction. He's also judgment. When he lives in us, it makes us judge ourselves, not according to this world, but according to the word of God, according to the living, loving God that lives inside of us, that breathes through us. And as I'm raising my son, I'm seeing myself. I'm seeing these generational curses that have been passed down. And, the other day I gave him $20 because he said he had a friend that was selling these shoes for $20. So I gave him $20. Well, when he comes back home, he does not have shoes. But what he does have is a box of pizza and some cookies and a pop. And I said, son, what happened to the shoes? You were supposed to be buying shoes. Oh, I know. I wanted a pizza. I'm going to see if he'll come down. And that is a mindset that has been passed down in my particular family. Buy what you want to satisfy you right now. Beg, manipulate, and figure out what you need later. Buy what you want now. Nobody has ever sat down and told Bishop that concept, but it's passed down through the bloodline. That is why it is so important for us to not jump into the bed with people and make children, because what you're doing is to become one flesh. And when those two become one flesh and produce a child, you're passing down all of your generational curses from your side of the family. And you're passing down all the generational curses from his side of the family or from her side of the family into that child. You're also passing down generational blessings from both sides. But if you haven't set up generational blessings, you don't have anything to pass down. I truly believe that marijuana has been passed down through so many people's bloodlines that you believe that it is your own. And I know you're probably thinking, why is she always talking about weed? It's because it's something that has been passed down to the point where people can't even fathom life without it. That is when you know it has become an idol in your life. I don't even know life without weed. I don't even know life without weave. I don't even know life without drinking. I don't even know life without smoking cigarettes, because everybody in my family has done it. I don't even know life without the welfare system helping me. I don't even know what you can pay for food without food stamps. These are mindsets that have been passed down. And so it's a battle in your mind when the Lord knocks on your door. He wants that area of your life. It's an area of your life that has been passed down in the ways you think and the things that you have saw. The way that people respond to anger. If everybody in your family respond to conflict. If everybody in your family, you've seen them respond to conflict. in a way of anger, exploding, or even avoiding, or complacency. I can't even worry about it. It don't even matter. It does matter. This is your life. This is what you're passing down to your children. And the Lord showed me this. He showed me this, and I'm just so blessed by it. He said, when a semi truck, come on in the room, because it has to be a semi at this point. Because it's no longer a little small 2-seater car, because it started as a 2-seater car 3 generations ago. Then it went into a full-size car. Then it went into a mid-size SUV. Then it went into a bus. Come on in the room. And by the time it has reached you, it is a semi-truck in your life. These generational curses of having relationships and having children out of marriage, it is a semi-truck in your life. When you wake up and decide that it is not going to continue with me, it's like a semi-truck slamming his brakes, but immediately the touching of the brake is the idea in your mind letting you know, wait a minute, stop. I see what this generational curse has done to me. I'm going to stop right now. But when you stop, Jesus, a semi-truck cannot stop on a dime because it has weight behind it. It has force behind it. It's something behind you that is driving that thing. My God, that force, you got to, in your mind, you got to fight those thoughts that are telling you. Even loyalty is killing people. Loyalty is killing people because it's like, my family said we loyal. We don't snitch on people. We loyal. It's to the death for me. That's my brother. That's my daddy. That's my cousin. He was there for me. The Lord allowed him to be there for you. But you don't indebt your life to being where he is today. Because look, where has it gotten anybody else? These generational curses are hard to stop. Because we've continued to see it. We haven't seen it stop. Your mama is still doing these things. Your daddy is your grandma is still smoking weed. You've never seen it stop. So you got to wrestle with these thoughts in your mind. That this is beauty. Sex does go outside of marriage. It's okay. God gives his grace. These are concepts that we fight with. It is a battle. So when you finally stand up and say, no, it stops with me. It stops with me. You have to still stop those thoughts. And then when a semi-truck really has to stop, come on in the room. I think about a mountain. And when you're going down a mountain, you see these ramps that they have built, because sometimes semis they're going so fast when they're coming down that mountain. They have to do what? They got to go up. They have built these places where they kind of go up a little bit so that they can stop. You got to look up to the hills from what's coming your help. You cannot do it on your own. Your life is going downhill. The only way to stop these things that are dragging you down is to look up to the hills. It's like, God, I can't do this any longer. It's not getting me anywhere. And I see where it leads me in the future. My daddy's still smoking weed. My mama's still drinking. My mama still has a complacency mindset. She's older than me and she still ain't defeated these generational curses. She still ain't married. She's still wandering in the wilderness. My God, out of Egypt, but still with an Egyptian concept. And even if you haven't got to the point where it's spiraling out of control, if you're on flat land with that thing, it means it has not consumed you. You're still a semi-truck because it came before you, but you're on flat land and you're driving. When you hit your brakes, you will that semi-truck makes a skid mark on the concrete. You can see the tire prints. That is the residue, because now it's affecting the way our children think and the way that people see us and the way that we see ourselves. It's residue. Now that residue has to be washed. My God, this is so real, y'all. This has really been heavy on my heart. That residue has to be washed, and we have to teach our children a different way to live, not only in our words, but also in our actions. And it's hard tearing down those idols, tearing the soul ties that we have formed with idols. Every morning, if you get up and you can't function without Starbucks, you're teaching your children that. The only thing I can't function without is God. If God be for me, he's greater than this world and its concepts, the ones that I've opened myself up to. He's greater than this world against me. We have to stand up on purpose to these generational curses that have plagued our bloodlines because our children are in danger. Just think about you. Just think about you for a moment. Take an inventory of your life right now. Where are you today? Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. Where are you at? Are you doing well in each and every area? I mean, if you gave yourself a report card, would you give yourself an A+ in every area of your life? If not, something has to change. If not, you are passing, and if you don't change, you're passing down that blueprint to your children, and you already see where it ends up. You got to pump the brakes today. Cold turkey. See, the children of Israel, the Israelites, when they were wandering in the wilderness, they didn't have to take all of that time, but they stayed in this mindset. It's a process. It's a process. Yep. It is a process, but it's not as long as it's taking you. You just have to get up on purpose and change your mind. 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people. It's an if, but there's a contingency. You don't just get the blessings of the Lord without the work. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. You have to seek God, and you also have to turn from their wicked ways. And there's a tearing in that tear. And there's a tearing in that turn because we've done it for so long. But it's something that boils on the inside of me. I don't want my babies to continue to see marriage that is not godly. I don't want my children to see beauty that is not godly. I don't want my children to continue to see words that are spoken out of my mouth that are not godly. I don't want them to see fashion that is not godly. I'm talking about from me because I'm mama. I can't speak for nobody else. I want them to see God, less of me and more of God daily. That has to be my desire. I want to raise them with the way he wants them raised. And it's hard because if you think about it, when you have to stop that you have to stop those behaviors and the things that you have taught them and the things that they have seen, you have to stop that. It hurts. It's hard because they've been raised in your mess. They've seen you do some things. Some concepts have been bred in them, and they're things that came way before you. It's those tire tracks on the ground. So don't get mad when you have lived in rebellion to God and you got a rebellious child. How you gonna get impatient? My God, I have to take a seat every time my child raises up because I lived in rebellion to God in front of him. I lived in direct rebellion to God in the way I raised him. Are you serious? Are you going to get impatient with your child? God didn't get impatient with you. Jesus. But one thing for certain and two things for sure, the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. That's the only reason you was delivered, was because you are a child of God. Because you are a seed of God. And just like he delivered you, he will deliver your children, the seed of the righteous. I fight for my children every day by living a righteous life, not on my own, but the righteousness that God gave me, that he put inside of me, that he buried inside of me. The righteous God, that lives inside of me, that lives through me. I fight for my children with that. And then they are children of God. The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. I really believe when we get frustrated, when we say, oh, they just keep acting up, we don't believe God. We don't believe that the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. No, love the hell out of them that you exposed them to, that you taught them, that you brought into their lives. Oh my gosh. Ooh, the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. They shall be delivered. They shall come out of rebellion, just like you did. They shall have the scales removed from their eyes. Pray for them. Pray for them. That means your children. Wait a minute. The devil can't have minds. I'm not going to get worried when they start acting up. No, the seed of the... I literally speak that scripture to my children when they start acting ignorant. Baby, I ain't worried about you. The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. God is waiting on you to come out. See, sometimes we want to play God. I tell them, I'm not God. I'm only mama. There are places in my children's life that I can't feel. There are holes that I built in them. There are places that I tore them down. There are places that I broke their heart that I can't even fix. But God can. God can. I pray for them. I intercede on their behalf on purpose because the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. We get so holy and then we want to leave our children behind. We want to just count them off. They just acting so ignorant, girl. I just don't even know what to do with them, girl. They just, wasn't you acting so ignorant? Do you think God was sitting up saying, this acting so ignorant? No, he knew who he was. He knew he was God. He knew he was going to bring you out of that very situation, that very mindset. He knew that generational curse was going to stop with you. He knew it. My God, thank you, God, for changing me. Just like you did it for me, God, do it for my babies. Make yourself real to them, oh God. The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. God, I repent for showing them the wrong way. You know, I think about this too. The children that we have raised in our mess, they have been raised without a vice. Without a vice. That means we may have used sex as our vice, our way of escape. We may have used alcohol as our way of escape. We may have used drugs as our way of escape. We may have used religion as our way of escape. We may have used these things, but all while we were going through our situation, they didn't have no vice. Come on. It makes my heart, oh my God, it makes my heart break. When I was bringing different women in and out in front of my children, they didn't have no vice. When I was having sex in the house and they could hear me having sex with a woman, they didn't have no vice. They had to deal with it. My God. And you gonna get impatient with them? Every time their heart broke watching their parent go through whatever we went through. They didn't have no vice. When they home got broke up and they daddy left. They didn't go to the club on Friday night and then you left them with the babysitter that might have touched them. They didn't have no vice. Are you serious? And we was too busy wrapped up in our own mess to see that they were hurting. To see that they were hurting and that they needed to see God through us. Sometimes they just needed to be held. Have you went back and said, baby, I'm sorry for breaking your heart. I'm sorry. See, these sorries go way back before they were born. I'm sorry for abusing my body as the temple of God. And laying with your daddy before I was married, not seeing if he was a man of God, not being a woman of God. I started this thing off wrong and it's affecting you today. My God. We have to be mindful. We're raising broken children that we broke because we were broken, because our parents were broken, because their parents were broken. When is it going to stop? When are we going to put our boxing gloves on and say, devil, you know what? You got the right one today. I'm going to pray for my children. I'm going to fast for my children. I'm going to give up some things for my children, even when I still like it. I still like it, God, but take it from me because it's affecting my children. The way I'm processing this thing, the way I'm thinking about this thing, it's something bred inside of me that's fighting me, and I still want to do it, God. It's pride that still lives in me. Take it, God. Change me, God. Deliver me, God. Deliver me, because deliverance is not just one time. We got to be, when you fighting generational curses, God, when you're fighting generational curses, and then two have become one flesh. So you've taken on whatever your husband has. You're taking on whatever your wife has had. Two have become one flesh. And then we got to process it through this filter right here. Because some things we're holding on to because mama did it. That's what my mama did. My mama used to cuss people out. My mama was harsh with her words. My grandma did it. We got to come to the realization that mama was wrong about some things. And daddy was wrong about some things. And grandma was wrong about some things. Our people perish for lack of knowledge. It's not your fault that you got these concepts, but it is your fault if you continue these concepts. It is your fault if you don't surrender and say, God, wash me, purge me, and prune me, search my heart. If you find anything that is unlike you, God. Anything that is manufactured in me, if you find my standards of beauty, of love, of sex, of hope, if you find it in me, God, and it ain't right, take it away. Make it uncomfortable to me. God, I thank you for this word today. I thank you for this word. God is so good. He's so faithful. He's a faithful God. He's a faithful God. He's a faithful God. We fight for our children by getting idolatry out of our lives on purpose. God is calling us higher today. I was asking the Lord, I said, God, what is the difference between religion and relationship? Because we struggle with that. Somebody that's religious was thinking, I'm coming to church. I'm sitting right beside her. I don't know why she's trying to say I'm religious. I'm not religious. She's sitting here like I'm sitting here. We both shouting. We both hollering. It's your motive. It's your heart's posture. Why are you coming to church? Are you coming to church because it's tradition? Are you coming to church because it's a part of your weekly schedule? Or are you coming to church to be transformed? Are you coming to church to sacrifice something today? Yep, last Sunday I gave that up. This Sunday I'm giving that up. This Sunday, and not for my own good, God, but for the glory of you, because I need you to strip this world off of me every time I walk through them church doors. I need you to strip. This is why you can't go to a church that is not under the lordship of God. I need you to strip this world off of me every time I go in them doors. I don't want to be one just saying, God is working on me. It's a process. No, process me, God. Put me through that every time I walk through them church doors, put me through that consuming fire. Change something in me. I done got complacent with some things in my life, Lord, and that ain't what you want from me. We have to move forward, keep pressing towards the mark of the high calling. Every day that calling is higher. Okay, that's good. You ain't doing that no more. How many times do you want applause for stop doing what you've been doing that you have stopped doing for years ago? There's no applause left for that. What has God done for you today? What have you done for him today? Sacrifice. We're in a place where we're stuck in the wilderness in some areas of our life on purpose because God is calling us higher. And it hurts. It hurts to be torn in these areas. It hurts to know that you've been doing things wrong. It hurts to know that grandma taught you that wrong, that granddaddy taught you that wrong. But God is good, and this is where his grace comes into play. He's giving you grace to walk away from some more things. He's giving you grace to think about your body as the temple of God and how you adorn it, how you dress it, how you address it, how you undress it. Come on in the room. How you take care of it, the food that you put in yourself. Let's process this through a different filter. Let's not be religious. Relationship is about checking in with God. God, I need to know how you feel about this thing. I heard what the pastor said, and I'm not doubting it, but what I am doing is checking in with you, God. God, I can't move on this decision if you don't tell me the right thing. It's so important not to get a processed man, women of God. When I think about this, because and it starts off, and this is how we do, it starts off so good, and we see him, and he's like, oh, he loves God, girl, he can pray, prophesy, come on in a room, girl, he can lay hands, everything, yes, God. But if he's not continually seeking God, it is detrimental to your family. It is detrimental to your bloodline. Baby, I need a man so submitted to God. I don't want him. Because I think about this, Adam and Eve in the garden. Adam listened to God. He followed the instructions, the directions, and then he sent him a wife. And one bad suggestion from his wife. See, Adam didn't have to eat the fruit. He got complacent. He didn't check in with God about that thing. He didn't say, God, what is God? Wait a minute. What? This is what my wife said, God, but what did you say about that thing? He didn't check back in. He got complacent. Never get complacent. Abraham followed the Lord, left his hometown, went following after God. Come on in the room. He is the father of faith. But he got complacent with God. Then Sarah said, well, I know God said we're going to have this baby and everything, but let's do it this way. Go in there and lay with Hagar. He did not argue. He didn't argue back and forth with her. He didn't consult with God on it. God, this is what she said, but what do you say? I need a man of God that is submitted to. I'm not going to do it unless I hear from God. I need permission to pursue. Come on in the room. I heard a pastor say it on a sermon this week, and it blessed my soul. He said, I need permission to pursue God. This concept, this idea that someone just spoke over my life, because this is the thing about it. You have to think about this. Some things people say, they don't mean to hurt you. The concepts that have been passed down, matter of fact, they think it's good, or they wouldn't tell you about it. People that we love have told us bad ideas, not because they didn't love us. They thought it was a good idea. Eve thought it was a good idea because guess what? She didn't surely die in that moment. She didn't spiritually die in that moment. She thought it was a good idea, so good that she passed it on. She passed it on, come on in the room, to her husband. It wasn't a bad idea. It wasn't a bad idea. It wasn't a God idea, though. That's the problem. That's what made it bad. It wasn't a God idea. She didn't run it by God, but then he's the head. So he didn't run it by God. That's where it ultimately settles, because sin came into the world when Adam ate the fruit, because the command was given to Adam. My God, generational curses. We gotta pump the brakes, people of God. Pump the brakes today. Ask the Lord to search you and allow his consuming fire to burn off anything that has attached itself to you that he does not want in your life, that you don't want to pass down to your bloodline. Take a snapshot of your life today. Every area. And if it's well with your soul that your son or your daughter go through every channel that you went through, they go through every door that you went through, and they get the outcome that you have today in every area of your life. If it's well with your soul, keep pressing in that same vein. If it's not, pump the brakes and ask the Lord to do a work in you. And not tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised, but today. Be blessed, people of God.